Okay. Wow. First time back on the pod.
It's been a minute.
Okay. I think we're fully situated now. But welcome back to a Struggling Christians podcast. My name is Blake.
I'm Shelby.
And it's been a while since we've sat down and done this. We have been through the ringer the last couple of months, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. It's going to be super chill. We don't really have a set, we kind of have a set topic, but it's just going to be us talking mostly, and us talking about how God has moved in our lives and how we have prayed for things to happen, and they were finally happening. We were very blessed for everything that has happened, but yeah, we're just going to talk about it. We're going to go through kind of where we've been at the last 3 months or so.
I feel like the last 3 months have been a blur.
Yeah, honestly.
I can barely remember what happened yesterday, let alone the last 3 months. October, yes. September. What was 3 months ago?
I don't even know.
July,
August, September, October. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, we've been through a lot the last couple of months, which is why we kind of haven't been able to do this. We've been wanting to for the last couple months, honestly, and we just haven't had time. So we made the time on this rainy, gloomy Wednesday afternoon.
Very cold outside.
Yeah. Okay. It's like 45.
It's cold.
It's not. I think it's perfect weather. I drove home with my windows down.
You're crazy.
It's very misty.
I turned the heat on yesterday.
Yeah, no. But yeah, so we made some time, and I feel like throughout this season, whenever I was thinking about a podcast topic to talk about, the thing that really just kept coming back to me is the fact that so much has changed in the last couple of months, and we have change coming up, and I feel like if I were to put something on this season, it would be change.
Yeah.
And along with other words, but this one is very evident in both of our lives together and individually, which is such a blessing. I say that as a person that hates change. I say that as someone
Amen. Yeah, I have that wrote down somewhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I get very anxious, and whenever my routine is thrown off, I get freaked out, and I have to have a period of time where I kind of take a step back and really go through the change slowly, and which we talked about, and we knew that going into it, which is kind of what we're going to talk about today.
We also didn't plan to wear the same thing at all.
Oh yeah. I fully came over here and she was like, we're wearing the same thing, like we're both wearing black sweats, and we got the same matching sweatshirts in Florida, or I guess Alabama.
I put it on and I was like, there's always a chance that he can show up wearing it too.
And
but it's one of my most comfy sweatshirts.
So. Oh yeah, I love it. I'm glad that we got the same one. Going into this, I was really praying of different things to talk about within the change. Most specifically, what is different, how we are dealing with the change in routine and all of these new things coming at us and old things leaving, and then also how we are positioning ourselves as close to God as possible throughout this. And I kind of wrote down, everyone goes through life changes that will alter your routine, bringing you out of your comfort zone. It's during these changes that we have the opportunity to form new, more desirable routines that position us closer to God, which I think is exactly what we have been doing over the last couple of months. Praise God for everything that's happened. Yeah. And it's exciting, but a lot.
I think, we talk about it all the time, everything that has happened and everything, but, sitting here now and then writing it all down and thinking about it, so much has changed.
Everything, which I'm kind of getting tired of hearing myself talk about it and not actually talk about what has changed.
Yeah.
So I think we can just dive into that. I kind of wanted to start with the thing that happened first. And from what I remember, it's you moving.
I think so. That's the catalyst.
So
if you watch the last one, I'm not 3 hours away anymore. I'm 5 minutes down the road.
Exactly. So Shelby has moved closer. She's literally 5 minutes down the road now, which I also moved.
Yeah.
So that it was different, but we had been praying for that for a long time. And we were literally just in this season of waiting and kind of anticipating it, but not exactly knowing when it was going to happen. And thankfully.
I was going to say, I think once I finally let go, I was just like, okay, God, like it's going to happen when you want it to happen, because I was pushing for it to happen once I put my house up on the market. I think that's when it happened, essentially. And there's a lot of bumps in the road, even when it was selling, but
yes, it was. I honestly forgot. Like as soon as you got up here, I kind of just forgot about that season. But your house was on the market for almost a year.
316 days.
Yeah, 316 days. Your house was on the market. You had so many people coming to look at it. It felt like
Yes,
and
nothing ever happened.
Yeah, nothing happened, and then some stuff kind of happened, and then it fell through. It was a constant battle, and I say for us because it was affecting us, and it was like not really a group decision, but we were both praying for it, and we both felt the effects of the distance.
Oh, yeah.
And for you especially, it was very difficult because you obviously prayed to have your house on the market, like to even put it up. And then you got the yes, and you put it up. And I remember we were talking about it, and we were like, oh my gosh, you're going to be up here so soon. Like, it's going to sell. And we did not realize that it would be 316 days later.
Well, and I think it was just probably a little naive of us to think that. I mean, God can do whatever he wants to do, but also I put my house up on the market, I think late June or July or something, and I thought I was going to move in August. So like that was, and if you knew where my house was, you would laugh at me thinking my house was going to sell that fast. So
which it was a nice house close to a school, good square footage. You had just put in some work in it.
Yeah.
And it was a nice house. If it was where we live now, then it would have sold super quick, I think.
And for twice than what I sold it. Yeah. That's the thing too. We kept it was such a battle too, because I kept having to drop the price, and I was, considering, taking a hit, like losing money on it, because me, of course, but we both just wanted the move to happen so fast. I was willing to kind of cut corners that I didn't need to, because I was so ready for it to happen.
Yeah, God had a plan, and luckily you did not jump the gun. And I think that says one thing is, whenever you are wanting something to change, or God has put something on your heart to do differently, a move or a new job or whatever it may be, if you are not close to God, then you will make the wrong decision, and it will hurt you in the long run. And I think the big thing that's very evident in that situation is you were supposed to move earlier. Wasn't it like October or something whenever you were going to move with your cousin?
August. That was August, yeah.
So she put her house up, and she had some family moving to the area that I lived in. And you were like, oh, I'll just move in with her. We're going to be roommates. This will be good. And
it all completely fell through.
No, yeah. It fell through.
In a matter of a day, I think.
Yeah. And it was very last minute. And it was sort of the situation where you were thinking, well, maybe I can move and just pay for my house. It should sell quick, and then I won't have to deal with it for long.
I cannot imagine if I would have done that.
No, it would have put you in a horrible situation.
It's the same thing of how many times did I go back and forth about renting it out just so I could move. Yeah. Which, I mean, renting it out is a gamble, too. Like, I would have, made money in a sense, but also at the same time, renting is such a gamble.
Yeah. And I think that it was a constant back and forth with that, which is, I think, good in a certain area, because you had opportunities come up and you prayed about it. And if something was put on your heart, you're like, okay, is this going to work in God's plan? Like, let me take this to God. Or am I just trying to force it to happen? And you were definitely, like, at some points trying to just get it done and over with so you could get up here. But that longevity of, okay, like, this isn't it. Let me wait it out. I mean, it ended. I remember whenever you got the offer and they were talking about it, and you're like, they're offering me X amount above what the listing price was. And I was like, you better check with them. You need to speak to these people, because that doesn't make sense.
I remember getting the text at work at my desk, and I immediately sent the screenshot to you.
Yeah, it was a lot. Because at first, whenever I don't want to say burned, but whenever you've been in those situations where you're like, oh, maybe this will work out, it seems like a really good plan, and then it doesn't work out several times, you have to be hesitant.
And selling a house is such a process. Like, it's not just you get an offer, you sell it, that's it. Like, exactly. I got up here, I was moved into this house, and my house still hadn't sold because just some stuff happened, and I had to pay rent and my mortgage at the same time.
Which is insane. And I remember God came through in a lot of ways
Yes.
with that too, because whenever you have to pay rent and a mortgage, also you're between jobs because you had to get a new job.
And utilities at both houses.
Yeah. And everything that comes along, because it's not just those expenses. You also have to pay for getting stuff hooked up and stuff that you need in the house. And exactly. It was a process. But I think throughout the whole thing, there was a lot of anxiety, but it was also very much led by God. Mm-hmm. And you can see that through, like, there were a lot of situations where money had to be spent right there. Like, oh, I have to go fix this, or I have to go pay this or do this. And then God came through and you were actually able to make money whenever you didn't think that you would.
Yeah.
Which, whenever that happened, I was like, that is 100% God. Like, this is exactly when it was supposed to happen, because it's working out so much more than what you could have expected.
Right. I think, like I said at the beginning, once I finally let the reins go and stopped throwing a pity party, and I mean, there's a lot of tears for me, of course, just a lot of nights just crying and just begging, like, why? Like, we know this is supposed to happen. We know this is the way that it's supposed to go, but why is this one step not happening? And I think it just goes back to, one, patience, but also leaning on God in that season.
Exactly. And what a season it was. So the biggest thing was you moving, and that whole process that took probably a couple months, like, throughout. Mm-hmm. And throughout that, I was debating on a couple things. So my lease was coming up at my apartment, which the last like 2 times that I signed a lease, I was like, maybe I could move. And then I started looking at other places and it just didn't make sense.
Right.
So I didn't really expect that. I didn't really know. But I was also praying about going back to school and a new career path and things like that. And I finally settled on something, and I felt so strongly that God wanted that in my life. So I was applying for school and we were excited, and then it just did not work out.
Yeah.
Financials was the main thing. It just didn't work out. I literally dropped. I was enrolled in the classes and everything. And then at literally the last 2 days or something, I dropped, and I was like, this sucks. Like, I don't really know what's happening. I was obviously praying through it. And I don't think that was a huge thing, but I was in the mindset that I was going to go back to school. That was before we found out you were moving up here, like right before, but around the same time. And then you figured out you were moving up here, and I think you had already moved up here, and then my lease was coming up, and I was talking to my dad, and they live in the same town, but I lived like 40 minutes away. And we still I consider it long distance because of the type of person I am. I don't do anything during the week. Yeah. So we still saw each other on the weekends. It's been crazy because we've been out of town so much, which sounds crazy, but we are. Like, there would be a month where we were out of town for 3 weeks, 3 weekends out of the month. And it still felt a little bit like long distance, but I was talking to my dad about moving, and he was like, I don't know why you don't just move back in with us, and you can save some money and you'll be closer to Shelby, and it would just make more sense. I kind of prayed on it, and I was like, I don't really know.
I remember when you brought that idea up to me, I was like, oh my, like, okay, God is showing out for real right now, actually.
Yeah, because one of the big things that I've been focusing on the last like year or so is really preparing my heart for the future and figuring out where I am a little stubborn or prideful. And one of those areas is my alone time, or like my time to be in my own space and not talk to anyone and chill and all of that. And I was like, if I'm going to get married one day, obviously I need to be able to come home and have other people there in my space, and I need to get around other people. So ultimately, I decided to move back in with my parents, cancel my lease, and I have been adjusting to
5
that.
minutes away.
Yeah, now we're 5 minutes down the road, which is awesome.
But I mean, I know for you, it's a huge adjustment.
Yes, I still come home, and it's just having people there, anyone. It's not just my parents. I love my parents. They're great. But if it was anyone, I would still be stressed about it. And it's just something that I'm praying through. And I felt God tell me during this, it was like, if I'm moving back home, it is to position myself better for the future, get out of debt, and then also just positioning myself at the feet of the cross and really studying my word, growing closer to God through that, which has been challenging. Because I'm closer to here, my parents are doing stuff and I'm around other friends and we have a lot of stuff to do, so it's a little bit harder, but I do think that I've grown a lot in that. So you moved, and then like a month or something later, I ended up moving and living with my parents again, which is an adjustment.
Yeah.
And then you got a new job whenever you moved up here.
Right.
Which was
not too good.
Yeah. It didn't work out.
Yeah. So then I got another new job.
And you like it.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was kind of part of it too, because that job, I think, allowed you to get up here. It allowed you peace in that, and then it just kind of wasn't working out. You felt that, and then you got a new job, like, not that long ago, and you like it. Still in the same field, obviously, but it is different, and I think it aligns with you better. So you got a new job, and then I switched accounts. So I work with the same company, but I am on a new account, which is basically getting a new job, because the way that they run their account is completely different. They're both some of the biggest companies in the world. It's one of the top 5 accounts, both of them within the company. So it's very similar, but it is still stressful and different. It was a lot of change.
Process.
Exactly. And kind of like with moving, it was like I could have stayed and been fine and had my challenges, but in order to position myself in a way that makes me uncomfortable for growth. Growth is the end goal. So both of those decisions will result in growth. And it was kind of uncomfortable, but it was, both of us were going through it.
Yeah. I didn't want to, I wanted to get a new job too, but the whole getting a new job process is just so stressful. Yeah. And the whole, money and the gap and changing jobs and everything. And I was still kind of building myself up from the move. Mm-hmm. But it just worked out way better than I could have asked for.
Oh, yeah. I think so for me, too. Like, I was very nervous, but I think that I caught on to this account pretty easily to where now I'm comfortable. I haven't even been there too long, and I'm actually about to get another account added at some point, which is still in the works, but that is also going to be different. And as someone that is so focused on routine and loving the chaos of my job, but also loving the organized chaos. Yeah. So
sometimes I don't realize how organized and how very strict I am until yesterday. I was on the phone with your sister and she said 5:45 every morning I get a snap from you. It never fails. She said, I know when my phone goes off at 5:45, it's you.
That's funny.
And I said, I'm a creature of habit. I don't know what to tell you. I have a routine. I was like, I do it then, and then I go in and clock in.
Yep. I think I don't know, that's just how I operate. And like it fits. And whenever you're out of it, so much can happen.
It's stability. I think it's stability for me because I know the routine. I know it's not going to change unless I change it. So then when change does come, that's where the freak out comes.
Exactly. Also, with moving, both of us, with you moving here, you had to switch churches and go to my church, which you had already been going to probably like once to twice a month, but you weren't exactly ingrained. We have a young adult ministry on Tuesdays that I would go to and like serve at and everything, and then we would both go on Sundays, so you weren't getting the full experience.
Right.
So you moved up here and started going to the church that I attend. And then, since I moved, it didn't make sense for us to continue going to that campus, which is the campus that I went to since I started going to this church. I served at this campus. I knew everyone there. My small group was there that I led, and I loved this campus. And we have another one, which is closer to where we live now. It's still a 15 to 20 minute drive, but whenever we moved, we decided to switch to that campus, which is also an adjustment. I think we're still adjusting to it because for the first month after, because I had to basically like tell them, hey, I'm going to be switching campuses. I had to tell my small group. We had to set like a date for everything to switch over basically. And after that date, it was over a month before we went to that campus, because we were out of town so much and we had vacation and there was just so much happening, which I think we both felt. And we were like, we don't like this. We don't like the fact that we're not going to church in person, which was an adjustment, but it was just kind of that season that we were in.
Yeah.
We're still not in Like, I still haven't joined another small group, and we're not really integrated into that campus yet,
Right.
which we're working on. But that was just something else that came along with that change, that move.
We're saying it all out loud. It's
No, yeah. So everything has changed.
I know. I don't even.
I also got a part-time job. Like, I haven't started yet, but I am getting a part-time job because I applied for school again, and I'm assigned for classes that start at the beginning of the year. So I'm going to be hopefully positioning myself, like I've been saying, positioning myself for the best outcome. The thing that I don't want to happen is to move in with my parents and then continue to be in this cycle that I've been in, which
Yeah.
is just kind of living paycheck to paycheck and not really being able to put time, money, effort into my life and like growing it, which I think is a big part of just me as a person. Like, I constantly want to be, I don't know, like elevating where I'm at, elevating my knowledge, elevating my community and the people that I'm around, setting myself and us up like for the future type of thing.
Yeah.
So I'm doing that, which is going to be crazy. It's at a very popular like fast food restaurant, which I used to work in food. Anyway, I worked in food for 4 years and I learned so much. I loved it. This is going to be very different. But like, it's going to allow me to, like I said, position myself. I'll be able to pay off debt super quick. It will allow me to pay for school and not really have to affect like my other paycheck in a sense.
Right.
And then also, I think it's just such a humbling experience because whenever I applied, I was like, I don't want to work there. Like, why would I work there? And then as soon as I said that, it kind of like pricked me. And I was like, who am I to say that I'm not going to work there? I relied on a similar job for so many years to
Right.
provide for myself. And so many people use that job to provide for their family and things like that. So I think that I love putting myself in situations where I can be humble and serve people and really, I don't want to say like check my pride in a sense, but honestly,
Basically, yeah.
you're checking your pride
Yeah.
and you don't know unless you put yourself in those situations.
And just like we were talking about the other day, like there's no telling what kind of doors will be opened
Exactly.
with this job.
Yeah.
Or what kind of, I mean, even relationships that you can build with men there or inviting them to church or just anything or just even being a light to people there.
Yeah. That's what I think because it is one of the main reasons that I quit fast food is because I was getting closer to God. And as I was getting closer to God, I recognized that that environment was very toxic.
Right.
And everyone wanted to go out to drink or smoke after work. And there was a lot of cussing and like inappropriate behavior happening. And it's not anything different. That's just what happens in a kitchen or around
You're
like
right.
that, especially in the town that I worked in. Like, that's just kind of what happens. That's the lifestyle that everyone, it's a college town, so it's all college kids. And what they look forward to is they're there to get money so that they can buy booze, basically.
Yeah.
Like, I'm happy to be going back to it, like, with a different mindset, I guess.
Yeah.
And I'm actually pretty excited about it. I think it'll be fun. I think it's going to be, I'm going to be very busy, but that's a new change that's going to happen. And
Busy, like in a different way, though.
oh yeah, I'm busy anyway, though. That's kind
Yeah.
of what I was thinking.
I was thinking about it the other day, how you're going to be so busy, but I think it's going to make both of us slow down so much more.
Yeah, because right now I'm busy in the sense of my calendar is full with social events, which
Right.
sounds crazy because I know people that are like, what are you talking about? Like, just text me day of and I'll come hang out. But that's just not possible
No,
for me.
we-
I've never been that
Yeah,
way.
we both need to know. I need to know like a kind of a month ahead.
Yeah, I have like never been that way. I remember telling people that. I'm like, no, you've got to tell me like a couple weeks ahead. And people would like think I'm joking or they're like, oh, who are you? And I just have a lot of different groups of friends and all of them, there's always a birthday. There's always
The whole month of November is already booked for us.
Yeah, there's always something, especially whenever, listen, I won't get on this soapbox, but whenever you have extracurricular like activities and mainly church,
Right.
and whenever you're really involved in a church and you try to be really involved in your family's lives and your friends' lives and you have multiple groups of friends that live multiple places, then you end up busy. We can go a month visiting different people every weekend and only see the same people once.
Yeah.
Because it's just different, whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm out of town. And we visit like multiple states in a month. And
Next weekend we're out of town.
yeah,
The next weekend we're out of town.
exactly.
And then the next weekend we're out of town. because it's Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah.
See, he didn't even know. He didn't
Well,
realize.
I look at I have everything on my calendar, and then I just kind of forget. But that's just kind of how the cookie crumbles.
Right.
And whenever you're that busy, life comes at you fast, and it's hard to, like I was talking about, it's hard to pour into yourself and relationships and things like that whenever you're doing all of those things.
Yeah.
Which, with this job, I'm still going to be busy, but it's one thing. It's not every weekend is something different.
Yeah.
And I'll be able to save money because I'll be working all the time, which I'm pretty excited about. But I just wanted to get all the change, like, out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much all of it. All that's happened in the last,
That's crazy.
like, 3 months, maybe?
Yeah.
3 months.
Rough 3 months.
Yeah. Around about.
Jeez
And
Louise. 90 days.
Yeah. It's literally just so much happening. And we're blessed through all of it.
Yeah.
We are so happy.
Amen.
We have seen so much of God throughout that, together and separately. And it is just such a blessing. It has been such a blessing to see God move. And it's such a warm feeling whenever you take a leap of faith and you trust God through it, and then He provides. Which is exactly, there's so many seasons in life that He does that. But especially when you have all this stuff happening all at once while trying to manage your life, normal things of life. It's just such a good feeling. And I wanted to get all of that out of the way. All the changes has been happening. So you kind of know where our hearts are at, what's been happening individually, together, all of these things. And then now I kind of wanted to talk about, like, what we have done during all of these things happening to still rely on God, even though it's hard. I know we talked about it a little bit with you moving and that whole process of trusting God throughout and hearing His voice and, like, really staying close to His heart.
I think I did a really bad job when I got up here, honestly. Like, I trusted God through the process, made it up here, and then I really think so many things were happening that so many different angles were happening, so many things were happening that I have a tendency to freak out and then try to do things myself. And I think God has been revealing that to me in the moment right now, but also past, like, how many times I've relied on myself when I should have been relying on Him. Mm-hmm. And even just like I said, with the move, what might have happened if I would have gave up those reins a long time before, Yeah. But I'm grateful for the way that He's working on my heart for that. But it's also a hard process to realize that you are making yourself your own God above God.
Yeah, I think that especially in those times, because you get busy, and if you don't have that firm foundation or the routine of reading your Bible and, like, going to church, even if you have the routine, but you don't notice the importance of it in your life, the fact that you need to have those things, like, you desire those things, that you slip, and then you really recognize the priority level that you have things at.
Right.
And I know a lot of times whenever I put hanging out with friends or going somewhere and things like that above the priority of going to church, and which in person, we would watch it online, but it's just not the same. For a little bit, we didn't get that bad. Like, we genuinely were busy out of town and those things, but there were some times where we were in town and we were like, I really don't want to get up and go, so let's just go to your house, watch it, and then we'll be able to do our Sunday routine quickly after, rather than running around.
Yeah, the small compromises of we go all weekend and we have all this fun and do all these things, and then Sunday comes around, we think we're too tired to get in the car and go to church. Yeah. And I think that's also been a big, like, revelation in a way, because I think it's just throwing a little pity party in a way. How can I have all this fun and do all these things through the weekend, and then I can't even get up and go to church on Sunday?
Exactly. And it's so revealing of your heart and your mindset behind why you go to church. I remember whenever I was going through the process of switching churches, and I was really anxious about it, and I really had to stop and be like, why am I so set on going to this specific campus when obviously you need to have, like, a home church and be involved in that. But also, if it comes between going to a different church to, like, a couple times just to where you're in church, or, like, not going at all, then why not just go experience a new church, be in person surrounded by believers, and then you can get back in your routine or something.
Right. And I think that goes to being comfortable. Like, I have that written down about how just being so comfortable in your ways and how your mind works, even if it's bad in so many things, and then change is just not comfortable. So why, if you have the choice to not do it, then why would we do it? You know?
Exactly. And I think that we did a really good job at turning that, or like growing closer to God and being like, hey, like, this is a conviction. I feel it on my heart. I feel heavy that we are not in our word as much as we were. We're drinking a little bit more, where our time isn't being spent on godly things as much as it was, just because of this change. And we kind of nipped it in the bud, I think, because we were like, we cannot continue on this. We see this routine. It's not like we're alcoholics, like we're drinking all the time, partying, going out. But even just we talked about it a lot, where even having a couple drinks, we were like, I don't want to like do that as often as we are, because we just feel the weight of it. Even if we're not getting drunk, we're not, doing anything illegal or bad necessarily, we still felt the conviction.
Right.
And it was the same thing with going to church on Sundays or getting in the word and things like that. So we really were trying to stay close to God. And our conversations kind of showed that. We constantly are talking about what God's doing and like how we can be a light to those around us, and inviting people over to your house. That was one of the main things whenever you were moving that we talked about. And I think with anything in change, there's always a way to find God in the thing that is changing. And with you, we were talking about whenever you moved up here, it was like, we need to have people over. Like, it would be so cool to host people in your home. And we love cooking. Like, we love cooking and making little nights and watching movies and things like that. Just quality time, I think. And we were like, let's share that with other people. So we've had people over here multiple times
this
and
weekend
cooked.
We'll have one.
We have had people over and we cook, and we are able to share kind of our traditions with them, which has been really fun. And we have just been finding new ways to experience God throughout the chaos of what's happening.
I like too how we talked about that and it's happening, but also how we talked about Sunday lunch or Sunday dinner, like having that with your family. And I think we have been having so many more Sunday dinners with your dad.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy that.
Yeah, it's been really fun just experiencing the things that we've never been able to experience together.
Yeah.
Which is just basic things that so many people probably take for granted, but we have been talking about them months
coming
before.
Over on a random Wednesday afternoon.
That was like one of our things. Like, I can't wait to like hang out on a random Wednesday or something, because it was just not. It wasn't feasible at all.
No. Well, one Wednesday we did for a concert.
Oh, yeah. But it was literally like...
I got home at 3 a.m. and had to go back to work at 7.
Exactly. Crazy. Luckily, like, God brought us through that. And he's showing us new things now that is just so amazing. Yeah, one of my main points for getting through the change was just relying on God and growing closer to God throughout whatever it is, and sticking close to his heart. I feel
like God has been taking me like this and just wringing me out, like, through the whole process, but also just me as a person through this process, because I mean, I have people up here, but I mean,
it's not the same.
Where I lived was where I grew up,
Exactly.
So it's obviously very different, but I think he's pointing out and showing me a lot of things through that, and showing me one, how my identity was found in so many other people and not in him. But also my actions and what I was doing were solely based on other people and not on him and what I wanted to do.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Is whatever you move. I get what you mean by like wringing you out, because with my move, it is, I mean, it's literally, I'm moving in with family 40 minutes down the road, closer to all of my family. But in my sense, I got so comfortable being alone. Yeah. And now I come home and there's kids running around screaming, and my parents like have different ways of doing things than I do. And unfortunately,
don't get him on that soapbox.
Unfortunately, it's just been a lot. Like living with your parents as a grown adult is very different. But
I could not imagine.
Yeah. Which luckily my parents are amazing. They're so fun. They're such a
Yeah.
good time. They're very chill. And I'm incredibly blessed to even be there because it's allowing me to do so many things that would have taken years in my other situation. And it's just revealing so much to me. And it's also allowing us to be closer because
Yeah.
now we're literally right down the road, which is we didn't think would happen. Even whenever you were moving, it was like, oh, you're going to be closer. You're going to be 40 minutes down the road. That's so awesome. And then we didn't even consider
No.
being in the same town,
No.
which is great.
It's all God. Like
Yeah.
I can't. There's no other way to explain it.
Exactly. It's just like your blessings are really brought to the light whenever you take everything to God and you rely on God. I think that that's a big thing that we have done is just relying on God throughout it. And also we are finding good things within this crazy mess that's happening.
Yeah.
So we could sit back. I could sit back and feel sorry for myself or feel anxious or feel embarrassed that I'm living with my parents at 26 and that I have to do X, Y, and Z or whatever. And instead, I'm like, I recognize that as such a big blessing that so many people don't get to have. And also, it's like, I don't want to be prideful in that sense. What's
Right.
wrong? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the same thing with, I'm sure with you, like switching jobs and things like that. Like, there's a lot of insecurity and pride and anxiety that come along with all of these things. And during change, it's so important to
During
find,
the shift.
yeah, during the shift of things, you have to find things that are good and you have to find things that are God in that and through that. And you have to find lessons that you can learn. And I think we're both doing that.
I think that's been a big thing for me because I tend to spiral a lot. And if I don't focus on what God has done, then I will just spiral in the negative because you
Exactly.
can find a negative thing in anything.
Absolutely.
So, and of course, it's so great I just moved and it's so great I'm up here and it's so great all these things. But then I can think about my financial situation because it's so different
You're paying
now.
more.
Yeah,
The cost
it's
of
a lot
living-
more expensive up here.
The cost of living is more expensive in this area. And your rent and like everything went up. And
Yeah.
which is crazy. But you also, on the flip side, your hourly like went up.
Yes.
So you're making more money that you wouldn't be making in that area.
Right.
And
And it's like which side of the
Coin
road
are
are you
you-
going to look at?
yeah. And I think everything that we mentioned, that we can look at it and see a certain type of thing, or we can look at it and see God through it. And I think whatever you focus on God in any situation, even if it's not change, if it's you're going through heartbreak or a divorce or loss or something like that, God is going to show you the depths of your heart and he is going to show you where your loyalty lies. So whatever situation you're going through, if you were sitting here focused on all of the negative, boo-hoo, why is this happening to me? I can't believe this happened. I never in a million years thought I would lose my job or lose this relationship. I never thought that I would lose these things that you unknowingly put as your foundation. So through that, you get shown, it gets brought to the light, it comes to surface, hey, this is where your life is at. Like, this is what you are putting your life into. We actually just went over this in church the other day about, basically like where you're putting your life and it's the same idea.
It was, we had a full days of work. It's
nighttime.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's such a blessing also because going through that, you can be like, well, I don't want to recognize my pride. I don't want to recognize the anxiety of losing money or losing this, whatever it may be. Or you can praise God for bringing those things to light so that you are able to fully lay them at his feet. I don't think that you're able to lay all of these things at God's feet if you don't even know what it is.
Right.
You have to constantly be doing heart checks.
Because then you can just go back and pick it up because you don't know what it is. Because I definitely pray that prayer all the time to lay things down at his feet and don't even turn my head back around to look at them.
And it's so difficult.
God's grace.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's really easy to sit here and a lot of these changes are good. I think we both have a very good outlook on them. But like I said, like you could see it from two different points of view. Thankfully, we positioned ourselves prior to all of this happening to where we were going to lean on God throughout it. We anticipated trying to pick these things up ourselves. I remember way before you moved, we talked about what is it going to look like whenever you live closer? What is
Yeah.
it going to look like when our entire relationship, everything that we're used to, flips on its head? Even if it's a good thing, we've had some of our biggest, I don't want to say fights, but we've had some of our biggest arguments or conversations since you've been up here.
Yeah.
And luckily we've been able to have them in person, but it has been very challenging. But we knew that going into it. We
Yeah.
talked about it. We prayed through it. We continue to pray about it. And before I moved, I told you, hey, I'm going to be stressed out. I identified myself. I identified where my comfort was and where my discomfort was going to be. So I said, hey, I am going to be very stressed. I get stressed whenever my routine is flipped. I get stressed whenever I come home and there's someone else there. There's other people in my space. And at some point, that is going to reflect, and we are going to have to talk about it. We're going to have to talk through it. We're going to have to pray about it. And that's what we did. Like, we're still working through it because it hasn't been that long. I think it takes way longer to get used to these things.
Well, and I think at the end of these fights that we've had, we both recognize that we're both going through serious change here. We're just kind of butting against each other right now. It's not necessarily like
It's not
we
me
have to
against
think
you.
about this big catalyst that we have in the background right now.
And it's nice because we prayed through it and we talk about it and we get to have those conversations. And separately, we're going through so much, but it affects each other.
Right.
And some of it does, some of it, like, obviously doesn't. But we still talked about it. And we were very self-aware of this is what's going to happen whenever I switch to my new account. Like, I am going to be very stressed. I'm going to need more prayer. Like, I'm going to need time by myself. There's going to be distance at times, and there's going to be other times that we can really focus on each other and cherish those moments because we know that there's going to be change coming. Like with a new job, I'm going to start a new job. I'm going to have less time, free time to do anything, which means everything that I have to do is going to be shoved apart. And we're just having those conversations that circulate around what we are anticipating to happen.
Right.
Which I think is so important. Anytime that you can see something happening or something coming up in your life, to just voice it and pray about it and just talk about it, talk through it. It's been a whirlwind, I think.
To say the least.
Yeah.
A hurricane, maybe. Tsunami.
Oh my gosh. We definitely have been through it, which is just crazy. But like, we've had so many good things happen, so many ways that we have seen God through it, and I am so blessed because I thought it was going to go so much different than it has. I feel like it's been such a smooth transition. You don't think so?
I don't know. I think it has gone really good. I guess I didn't really anticipate it going one way or like bad or anything, I guess.
It's going better than I thought. I thought it was going to be a lot more stressful. There's a lot of things that could have went wrong.
Yeah.
With any one thing that we talked about, any one thing that is now different could have went completely sideways. But I think that we are fully positioned at God's feet, and we are fully positioned to listen to God. And when he says something, we go with it. And there are still a lot of things that are coming. A lot of things are in the works, and it's going to change again and again. And so it goes.
So we die.
Yeah, but it's just been a lot, and we're at that time in our life where you kind of have to let go of certain things. We're getting a little too old, in my opinion, to be doing certain things or talking about, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
It's just, I say that a lot. Like, I am way too old to be dealing with this type of thing, or I'm way too old to still be doing this or that. I'm not doing that no more. I'm too old. Like, it's getting to the point to where youth is no longer an excuse. Inexperience is no longer an excuse.
Exactly.
Which is great. I think it's showing life, and it's showing growth, and it's showing God's working in our lives.
I think it's such a great and wonderful thing about how we talk about so often how much we have grown. Like we're not just kind of, I feel like there's constant growth all the time.
Yeah. I think
individually and together.
Yeah. Even if it's little, like even if it's one little thing that we've added that really help us, like meal prep. We have started a meal prep, and because we live closer, we actually bought a Blackstone, prayed about that a lot, And it's actually been such a blessing because, one, we've been able to meal prep on Sundays and spend quality time together. And it really has showed us how to steward our money better and how to grocery shop in a way that sets us up for the week. And we're not buying junk food, and we're buying food that will sustain us. And also, we've used it as a way to bring people here
Yep.
and cook for them and have that quality community time. And we have so much. It's been so great.
Yeah.
It's such a good investment. I remember we bought it from Facebook, so it wasn't even full price. And it was still money. It was still, expensive. But we were like, should we do it? Should we not? And as soon as before you even moved up here, we were like, let's get a big Blackstone and we can start cooking and have people over and things.
Yeah.
And
I
it's just
kept
been
going back and forth about it, but it was
Yeah.
just a financial situation about getting it. It wasn't necessarily needed, but we wanted it. But
Exactly. And we've made the most out of it.
Right.
And because we made that decision, we're going to make this decision, but how can we use it to glorify God? How can we use it to bring ourselves closer to God, bring those around us closer to God? What can we learn from this? And it seems crazy because it's literally just a
I know.
Blackstone.
We didn't even have the Blackstone yet, but I'll never forget the big gathering we had here when I first got up here. And it was like a taco bar for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
And
Your house was just full.
Yeah, and I prayed for everybody beforehand, which I was terrified to do because it was just a lot of, I don't know, it was just scary to do with that amount of people, but just the peace that I felt in that.
Oh, yeah. It was your housewarming party like right after you moved, and it was a bunch of people, and it was
There was people inside, there was people outside.
which I love.
Because
That's my dream.
Because just as much as we were both waiting for me to get up here, everybody else was waiting for me to get up here too.
Yeah, it's been such a blessing in all ways. But even just with that one thing, one Blackstone, you can take little things that God has blessed you with that you might not even see as a blessing. And like we say all the time, like every time we pray and give thanks for the resources that we have in order to make the food. No matter what it is, that is a resource that we have been entrusted with by God. And there's always a way to give thanks for it. And for us, a lot of it circulates around food, and which I think is amazing. I just love the idea. But something as simple as buying a Blackstone, we could have just bought it and be like, okay, cool. Like we'll make food sometimes, but instead we're very intentional about putting the money, anything that we buy that's significant in price, we're putting it towards growth with God or showing God. I'm excited for the things that are to come from it.
Yeah.
And
I think the first thought that I had, or probably both of us, how can we serve people with this?
Exactly.
Because I think both of us want to do that. That's our biggest thing.
Yeah, no matter what it is, if you have a car, then you can offer to take someone to church. If you have a home, you can offer to have people over to watch a movie or to cook. You don't even have to buy all the food because it does get expensive. It gets very expensive.
Yeah, it does.
But you can say, hey, let's just order pizza or go to the store and spend $15 on pizza, and then we can hang out. And that is an open door, even if it's just community, growing those connections. And even with spending the money for dinners, because we've had several dinners where it's $100 or $80 because we're feeding a lot of people and like, oh no, we'll get the most expensive part of it or whatever.
Right.
But we still pray about it. And we know, okay, like we're going to justify spending this money on food because we know that it's going to grow us closer to God and it's going to give us a chance to have that type of community.
Yeah.
And I think that it's just smart, anything that you do to do that. But yeah, I also wrote down like a little quote. Going along with change, a lot of development comes along with it. And there's a lot of growth. And you can get very insecure. You can get very anxious, things like that. We often uncover inequities in our routine, picking our lives apart to identify what we can do differently, but rarely find the courage and strength it takes to apply pressure necessary to shape a new normal.
That's good.
Thanks. I wrote that.
Really? That's good. Yeah. You said, let me read this quote, so you didn't say by me.
Oh, yeah. It literally says dash me. But where my heart at was that during this change, we always want to focus on the things that we're doing wrong. And we always want to focus on the bad part of things rather than saying, okay, let me identify where I can find God, what we can do differently, even through this mess, to have the outcome be better, and then apply that pressure in those areas. And I think throughout this, we are applying pressure in our pride to push it out. We're applying pressure in our anxieties and our worry of money and things like that. We are applying pressure in those areas because we know and we have been revealed the inequities in that.
Yeah.
We've been revealed that that is a sinful pattern that we do not need to be in.
Yeah. And pressure hurts sometimes, but you know
A
what?
lot.
Well, I was going to say that quote about diamonds or something, but I forgot it.
In
You
a song?
can't. No, you can't have a diamond without pressure, or like something like that's how diamonds are made
Yeah.
from pressure. or
Yeah,
something.
diamonds are made from pressure. So it's like, genuinely,
I
though.
lost my moment. But yeah, I have that on here. I have like a heading my heart around the changes, and I put hurt on there because I think sometimes I do focus on that a lot. But you can't have change without some hurt,
Exactly.
or you can't have change without some pressure.
Yeah. It's been rough, and that's just kind of part of it. But
Yeah,
again, where's your mindset at? Where are you putting your faith? Where are you putting your trust? Where are your nights? Like, whenever you get home after the long day, after all the stuff that you got done, after stressing about this and that, and you just get home, like, what are you doing? Are you going to God? Or is it your first time going to God that day? Are you
Right.
even sitting down to read your Bible? Are you even praying? Some days I am the most guilty of this. I get so busy and I lay down, and then I'm sitting there praying to go to bed, and I realize that I didn't even read my Bible, and I talk to God about that,
Yeah.
But I've heard Pastor, I think Craig Rochelle says, like, if you do it once, don't do it 2 days in a row,
Right.
basically. And I think that's so powerful, and it's just part of.
I think you saying that brought up the thought of I get in such a habit, even when we're out of town and when we go places, I'll bring my stuff with me.
Yep.
But then I never get it out.
Yep.
And I don't know if that's partially some of the enemy sometimes, like depending on where we're at, if I want to get it out and have people see me.
We've been here entirely too long because the camera stopped twice.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. But I think that all of our thoughts are pretty much concluded. A lot has happened. It's been so good. It's been so crazy. We've seen God so much throughout our story, and then also our family stories and our friends' stories and things like that. And literally all glory to God throughout all of it. It's
Yeah.
been so relevant. It's been so
Edivant. That's the right word.
Edivant?
Edivant.
No.
Look it up. That's
No, relevant.
that is not
I don't
right.
think Edivant is.
Edivant. Edivant. Wait a second.
Relevant.
Evident.
Evident.
We both said it wrong.
What did I say?
Elevant.
What is it?
It's evident.
Evident.
What did I say? Edivant.
Edivant.
Oh,
You said, no, that's right. You were confident.
I just
You
had
said Edivant. That's right.
one letter swap. That's funny.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
the little things, see? It's the little
Yeah.
things that will get you going.
Yeah, but
It's very evident. God has been moving.
yes, it's been amazing. I wouldn't change it for the world. I think that prayerfully it continues to go up. Prayerfully we continue to learn, and we are able to like come back on the episode next time and talk about more that God has done, whether it's a blessing or a challenge. Throughout it all, we grow closer to Him, and He reveals His heart more to us. Okay, closing arguments. What do you
I ain't
got?
got
Guilty.
I ain't got nothing.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But
I'm ready to eat.
yeah, me too. We're so hungry. It's 7:00 on a Wednesday. Also, a new change is I'm gluten free. So
Guess what?
that's
I'm
what we're
kind of
gonna
gluten
leave
free too.
it. It's whatever. There's a lot happening over here. A lot happening. And we are very blessed. But we will see you next time on the pod.
Hopefully not too far away.
Hopefully it won't be as long. of
Yeah.
a wait.